Today's state is the state of Alaska.
Number 1, the White Pass and Yukon route is a Canadian and American narrow-gauge railroad that links Skagway in Alaska and Whitehorse in Yukon. It was built in 1900 during the Klondike Gold Rush. It operated until 1982 and was resurrected in 1988 as a heritage railway. It allows passengers to travel back to the past, riding the rails on a real gold rush train, past waterfalls, glacial rivers, steep gorges, and dense forests that have hardly changed since the time of the gold miners. The train climbs up 3,000 feet with passengers aboard parlor cars, both vintage and replicas, and with huge windows and observation decks along the 10-foot wide train track carved into the mountain. The scenery is breathtaking, and the places the train passes by, such as Dead Horse Gulch or Inspiration Point, fire the imagination and take you all the way up to the headwaters of the legendary Yukon River.
Number 2, located in the Juneau Hot Springs Resort, the Aurora Ice Museum is open year-round. Created with over 1,000 tons of ice and snow, the museum is kept at 25°F, -7°C, so that visitors are loaned parkas to tour the museum in comfort. The museum contains a gallery displaying sculptures by the world champion ice carvers Steve and Heather Bryce, an observation tower, 3 bedrooms, which are called Polar Bear, Christmas Tree, and Children's Fort. There is a Northern Lights room and even an ice outhouse. An ice altar can be rented for on-site special events or weddings, and the museum's chandeliers change color to evoke the Aurora Borealis.
Number 3, less than half hour from downtown Fairbanks is the Running Reindeer Ranch, where you can learn all you ever wanted to know about these curious animals of the North. The ranch owner and manager, Jane, who has lived most of her life in Alaska, will take you on a walk through the beautiful, dense birch forest with the reindeer and engage you in reindeer games. She'll tell you all about the forest, the reindeer's home, and explain all their adaptations to life in the Arctic. You can watch the reindeer as they run free and happy in their forest world, untrained and often unpredictable. So what kind of adventure you will be having is pretty much up to them. Once the walk is over, Jane will take you to a nice warm room by a fire, give you cookies and a hot drink, and tell you stories about life in the North, and of course about reindeer. In the summer, she will proudly show you her vegetable garden.
Number 4, if you have ever wondered what it would feel like to stand on a dog sled speeding across 1,000 miles of frozen Alaskan tundra, and you are not prepared to enter the next Iditarod race, then a visit to the Husky Homestead is your best alternative. Legendary Jeff King, 4 times winner of the Iditarod and hundreds of other races across North America, has opened his home to those curious about the Alaskan lifestyle, including the hardships, challenges, and of course the Huskies. You can hear great stories from Jeff and his staff, many of whom are also famous mushers. You can play with puppies and watch fully grown majestic animals both at training and at work. Jeff's home is located within Denali National Park, and all visitors are brought in by Husky Homestead buses from Denali hotels.
Number 5, an adventure with the Bering Sea Crab Fisherman's Tour aboard the legendary FF Aleutian Ballad is not quite the hair-raising, death-defying battle with the sea you saw in the series' Deadliest Catch. You will meet the same crew and board the same boat, but the boat has been made more comfortable with a heated amphitheater and a panoramic upper deck. The boat will take you on a comfortable cruise through the calm, protected waters of the Inside Passage around the bays and islands surrounding Ketchikan until you reach the rich fishing grounds. You will watch the crew haul the catch and place some of the animals in a live tank so that you can see them and take photos before they are released unharmed back into the sea. You might spot some of the rich Alaskan wildlife such as bears, bald eagles, and seals. This cruise lasts about 3 hours.
Number 6, the animals at the Alaskan Wildlife Conservation Center, Portage, Alaska, are typically injured or orphaned and have been brought to the center for care. If the animals cannot be released back into the wild or sent to another center after treatment and rehabilitation, they become a permanent fixture at the AWCC. The center holds public feeding sessions several times a day and during the summer. Hour-long shuttle bus tours let visitors watch and learn about the different wildlife. Also during the summer, you can, for an additional fee, take a behind-the-scenes tour where a chaperone takes you through the center.
Number 7. Nothing can compare to seeing your first humpback whale slowly emerging from the cold depths of the sea with breathtaking majesty. Juneau Whale Watch is an established local company that will make your encounter unforgettable. Their whale watching adventures take 3 to 5 hours and starts on a bus that takes you from downtown Juneau to the Juneau port at Fisherman's Bend in Oak Bay Harbor, where you board one of the custom-made whale watching boats. While cruising the bay looking for whales, keep an eye out for bald eagles, sea lions, seals, black bears, and other Alaskan wildlife. You can see the humpback whales and orcas who often hunt in these waters. Once the whale is in sight, the captain will shut down the engines so that whales can approach the boat, as if posing for the photos. You can stand outside or in the heated cabin with a large viewing window.
Number 8. Located in the Wedgwood Resort and Beer Lodge in Fairbanks is the Fountainhead Antique Auto Museum, an amazing collection of antique cars in historic fashion that showcases how the design of both clothes and cars changed dramatically between the demure Victorian era and the more cheerful Art Deco age. There are more than 80 antique cars, from horseless carriages, electric cars, and steamers, to speedsters, midget races, cycle cars, and 30s classics. You can see Alaska's first car, an 1898 Hay motor vehicle, 1920 Argonne, 1921 Heinz Velouz Victoria, and a 1906 Compound, all kept in excellent shape and still going strong. The museum also features over 100 antique costumes in its closing exhibit.
Number 9. The Klondike Gold Rush National Historic Park offers 3 historical tours led by park rangers. The 30-minute tour of Jeff Smith's Parlor Museum recounts the story of Soapy Smith, the notorious conman and influential Skagway citizen who was murdered in an 1898 gunfight. The museum also contains Gold Rush period artifacts and local folk art. The tour of the historic district covers 4 blocks and several of the 20-plus buildings managed by the park during the 1-hour session. You can also spend 90 minutes learning about the history and wildlife of Dia, a boom town during the gold rush and current a National Historic Landmark.
Number 10 for Alaska. At the Santa Claus House, you can experience Christmas Day any day of the year. Started by Con and Nellie Miller in 1952, Santa Claus House began as a community trading post where locals could buy supplies, pick up their mail, or simply stop in for a few minutes of chit-chat and have a soda. During the 1970s, the store became increasingly focused on Christmas items, and today you can find a huge assortment of Christmas gifts, including food, clothing, merchandise, and toys. Take a photo with the 42-foot-tall, three-dimensional Santa outside the house or in the photo sleigh. Visit the Reindeer team or enjoy some holiday food and drink while browsing. Please click on Smiley the Frog icon to subscribe. And don't forget to click the bell to be notified of future videos.
And remember, stay young and have fun.